Hello. So, this is my very first video on YouTube, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm a little bit nervous to record this because I don't exactly know what I'm doing at all. So I guess just wish me luck. Today I'm going to do a sketchbook tour just because it's going to give you a little bit more of an insight as to like what I draw and who I am, a little bit more than like any kind of like other video would. I don't know. I'm unscripted right now, so just bear with me here. So I'm just going to give you a quick tour through my sketchbook and we'll see how this goes. Yeah.
So the first thing you will notice about this sketchbook is it is absolutely trash. Trashed, not trash. Well, a little bit trash, but we're gonna be positive here. So this thing, I've taken it around with me everywhere, and during that time, it has fallen apart, and it is beyond redemption at this point. I've literally put the back on like 10 different times, I think, and it just won't stay on. So it's stuck like that now. But this is the cover. I just have a couple stickers on here. I bought like a mass pack of like 1,000 stickers off Amazon, and I've been enjoying the gosh heck out of those. But yeah, I got some bubbles and stars around it and just customized it because this is actually the first sketchbook that I've actually customized the outside of, like with my own drawings. So yeah, I felt pretty good about this one. But right away when you open it, it's got like a bunch of pen sketches in here with stickers and random stuff. This was just me messing around with pen and trying to get like a better grasp on, I don't exactly know what. This was stuck in like 5 years later, not literally, but it feels like it. Oh, by the way, I should probably mention, this was started around, like, the beginning of this year. I think it was started around, like, like, okay, wait, I just need to refer to this to see just what point of my life this was. Okay, yeah, the beginning of this year, I'd say probably maybe January, February, but don't take my word for that. So, yeah, this was actually done way later after I started it. So, on the first page, initially this was going to be, like, a journal where you do like watercolors and stuff like that, somewhat inspired by a channel I watch called Land. Her videos are great, so cute. I would suggest to check them out. But I was going to do like a bunch of journaling and stuff like that, so that's what this is here. I just have lace and stuff stuck on it and a little bit of like instructions on how to preserve dried flowers. But here's my first drawing in the sketchbook. This is Roman. He's one of my OCs. My very precious boy. I started this very early on in the year, and I was kind of bordering on realism at this point because I hadn't quite figured out my sketchbook or my like drawing style yet. I had gone on like a really long drawing hiatus for like the entirety of 2022. So I was just trying to find myself again in the first few pages of this sketchbook. So there's that. This is my friend's OC. I never quite finished these drawings because I got rather lazy, but his name is Sino, which I assume I'm pronouncing correctly. But again, me trying to find my art style and figure out how to draw. I was actually pretty proud of this, but now looking back on it, let's just say I've gotten better. So yeah, and then over here I have this. Is again, okay, I might just want to point this out real quick here. A lot of these drawings I went back and drew much, much later, so, like, not all of this is actually in, like, correct order at all, so just don't trust the timing here. I don't date things. But, yeah, I was just having fun messing around with art. I was kind of feeling, like, unconfident, and I wanted to, like, mess around and not have to draw anything realistic. So, this happened while I was listening to music, but okay, so this half of the page, like the top half was drawn like incorrect time, but I drew like this later on. So this is another one of my OCs. His name is Atticus. I love him very much. And then this was a drawing I started and am never going to finish because it's disproportionate and ugly. So we're just going to skip that one. This is another one of my friend's OCs once the camera focuses. I think I should probably just fold this back. There we go. So, his name's Alloy. This is a poor drawing. Wow, okay, so I'm noticing that the focusing is getting really screwed here. Sorry about that. But, This is Alloy. Is a drawing I gave up on, and then I just came back later and started to like practice with my anatomy because I was really, really sucking at it. So that's that. And this is a comic I started that I'm never going to finish. Just ignore the like insane amount of unfinished stuff on here. So he's just, I don't know, getting a crush, I guess. But this is Harrow, another one of my OCs. I have just like an unbelievable amount. But this is my friend's character, a better drawing of Alloy. He's just like the most pale person you will ever come across, and I just adore him. So then there's a Spider-Man drawing that, looking back on it now, it looks disgusting, but I guess I thought it was good at the time because I colored it. So yeah, this was me messing around with colored pencils when I don't know how to use colored pencils. So a little bit of horror worked into this sketchbook here. And then more anatomy studies. I just needed to get better really bad, so I was just like looking up all these drawings on Pinterest, on Google, and just messing around and trying to get a better grasp on how they worked. And honestly, all the studies that I have in here really proved to be doing like a lot of favors for me, because I started to get like a much better understanding of how the human body worked after this sketchbook. And oh, by the way, it's not full. I have like 3 pages, maybe more. Yeah, a few more than 3. I have a lot of pages left to go, let's just say that. Sorry for the spoiler, but here we are. This half is when I had like severe art block, and I just drew whatever trash came to my mind. And then I started drawing a little bit more, and this guy came out. His name is actually Jethro. I don't know why I wrote Jotham. The Lord only knows, but he's not really an OC. He just exists kind of on this page and this page alone. But yeah, this one was really fun to draw. Here, I'm going to zoom in on this a little bit because I really, really am proud of him. So he has like just all of these little things inside of his bag. He's got his outfit. I guess he's kind of like a post-apocalyptic hiker almost. You know, he kind of lives on his own. He's pretty peaceful. He's got the world to himself a little bit. And he just wanders around. So just enjoying life, I suppose. Here, sorry. This tripod is like super, super finicky, so I have to do like a lot of screwing around in order to get it to sit straight. So maybe I shouldn't have lowered it. Okay, well, you're going to be stuck with a crooked angle half this time now because of that. But we're going to go on to the next page. Sorry if I'm rushing through this, by the way. I have never done a sketchbook tour before. So, well, obviously, because this is my first video. But, yeah, just, I guess, bear with me. On this page here, though, we have just Winged Boy that I was messing around drawing with. This guy is pretty darn ugly, but he's here. I was just trying to figure out what to draw, so I drew him. That's kind of a lot of my drawings, is me needing to draw desperately and just drawing whatever the heck comes out of my hand. So this is another drawing of Atticus. I have rights. I can bomb whoever I want. That was inspired by a wonderful quote in class one day. So on this side, I have just a bunch of dresses and stuff. This is me trying to figure out my art style a little bit. It's all smudged. Everything in here is smudged. This video has the worst camera work and the worst monologue, and just, I'm sorry, and God bless you for sticking around. I love you. So this is a dress here that I saw on Pinterest or something like that. I liked it, so I drew it. Same with this guy right here. So just messing around with art again. But right here, this I saw. It was supposed to be a girl, like, in the reference photo that I had, but I changed it into a guy. Lord only knows why. But I just really loved how, like, chunky and how, like, well-built everything was. With a lot of anatomy, you see everything is just kind of straight lines and stuff like that, but I really like it when you can really see the contours, and I don't mean that in a creepy way at all, but, like, just being able to see, like, the humanness. So I really liked that picture. So I tried to draw it and didn't do a great job, but I guess it's tolerable. This is a finger reaching out of the clouds to curse toads or something like that. I don't know. Abel, my brother, told me to draw it. Yeah, this is me messing around with spines. This is a Sphinx cat, which is like, I'm gonna state my controversial opinion here. I think Sphinx cats are really, really, really pretty and cute, so I drew one here, being pet. Then just poses, practice, and stuff like that. Then on this side, I have a couple drawings that I'm pretty proud of. I think, like, this kind of thing is what I'm going to stick for my art style, just, like, bordering on realism, but not quite there, you know? So, I don't know. I'm still figuring out my art style, to be honest. This entire book is just me trying to figure out where I sit with art. And just practicing with anatomy, practicing with faces, just figuring out how to draw, I suppose. So, that's these. That's this as well. Yeah, it's a... my sketchbooks are so messy. Some people have, like, the prettiest, cleanest sketchbooks, and that is not going to be me. So, I guess... let me just encourage you in the fact that sketchbooks can be crap ugly, but still really cool. So yeah, this is my friend's OC again. It's not a finished drawing, and I'm never going to finish it. Sorry. But this is kind of an inside joke. He's selling skim yogurt and hand lotion that he made himself out of a cart. I don't really have an explanation for it. He's just... selling creams, I suppose. So, yeah. This is another page. This is Harrow again. The guy from the comic way earlier. But yeah. This, I don't know who it is, but he exists here, I guess. Yeah. Yet another really smudged drawing. I was practicing anatomy here, and I remember being really happy with myself for how his, like, upper body turned out, because, like, I hadn't had a whole lot of practice up to this point drawing anatomy, and I didn't use any reference for this. So just the fact that I could draw him freehand made me very pleased that day. And then this is the other side. This guy and this guy and this girl are the reason that it's so smudged on the other side. But this is when I had art block, and I was just kind of messing around with drawing faces and stuff like that. And the reason it says I can't see is because this was, like... in a really dark room. So, yeah. Oh, sorry. I have, like, all this, like, commentary on the sides, and I was just trying to figure out what this said, and it says, yeah, that's not how arms work. But I didn't do anything about it, clearly. So, yeah, this is the other side of that page. I have Chance, which is another OC. He's kind of deleted from my story, but that's okay. He's just living on this page. And, yeah, me messing around with art styles. This was a drawing from reference. I was trying to do, like, semi-realism or something like that. I don't know, but it came out so, like, hideous that I couldn't even have it in my sketchbook, so I erased it. Yeah. This page I'm especially fond of because I really like how my art style is turning out in this. And by the way, what I said earlier about, like, that being my art style, I was more meaning along the lines of this. So, like, shading is realistic, I guess, and it's just, like, a little bit more... I forget this word every time I'm trying to say it. It's a little bit more brought to life. There's a cool artistic term for it that I am not remembering right now, so just bear with me. The amount of times I've said that sentence this video is getting to the point where it's unhealthy, but bear with me. So she's not anybody specific, but this is, like, one of my favorite OCs. His name's Mavi. And, yeah, not much more can be said about that, other than the fact that this is where I really want to go with art, because I just adore this page of my sketchbook. So, yeah. And then on the other side here, I have the beginning of a drawing of another OC. This is nobody. This is Mavi again. And I'm just messing around with poses and stuff like that. This one I'm pretty proud of. I drew it in a moving car on bumpy roads. So, oh my gosh, wait. Actually, this one too. I'm not gonna lie. I drew it on a bumpy road. So, I'm, like, very happy with the fact that I was able to do that. Oh, yeah. So, yeah. This is a page where I was just having art block and messing around and trying to draw. Honestly, I could say that as a preface for, like, every single page of this sketchbook. But, this is me not knowing how to do anatomy. This is Siobhan and Randy. Yeah, they're both kind of deleted at this point. This is a pose. This is another pose. This is another pose. This is a guy. His name is Theo. He's one of my friend's OCs as well. And this is a face. You're welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, by the way, this is a scarecrow if you haven't already noticed. And then on this page is kind of me stuff. This is not me. But the rest is more me. This is in my bag. I always have this, like, gray bag with pigs in it. Pigs on it. On it, I swear. With pigs on it as my bag that I carry around everywhere. Lately, though, I've been using, like, this tote bag that's kind of like an evangelism tote bag. I'm not going to read it off to you, but it's, like, just... yeah, it's I call it my Jesus bag, I guess. But yeah, so this is my phone. Before I upgraded it, it was an iPhone 8. That I'm so glad it's gone because the battery on that thing was just unbelievably bad. But now I've got a new phone, which is wonderful. And then I've got my pencil case and just what I have in my pencil case. If you want to see it, I can bring it up, but it's like way behind me and I'm attached to an AirPod right now. Sorry about doing that to the microphone, but just because you're going to be seeing it later on the channel, this is my pencil case. I drew all over it, and I'm so happy with how it turned out, because I've drawn on pencil cases before, and it's turned out, like, disgusting. Sorry about that. I have a little bit of a cold right now. But yeah, this is my pencil case and my supplies. You'll get to know them later if I can motivate myself to make more videos. But anyways, after my disgusting snorting, this is just the stuff in my bag. It's pretty self-explanatory. Sorry for spending so much time on this sketchbook page. I'm moving on now, I swear. So this is me messing around with anatomy a little bit more. These are all, like, the top ones are all without reference. So, like, I was just trying to understand, like, get a grasp on how good my anatomy was getting. And like it says here, it's a little bit stiff. I figured out what I'm doing wrong. Yeah, I've really, from pages like this, I've just learned so much, and I'm very, very happy about it. This is me drawing a skeleton just to get a grasp on, like, what it looks like under the skin, just so that I know better, like, how to draw skulls. This is a pair of, like, humans hugging. I don't know. I like that drawing, but only because it was off of reference. I really can't draw stuff like this on my own. I can draw humans pretty well, but once it comes to humans interacting, I need a drawing to go off of still. This is Star-Lord. I'm pretty happy with this one. This is a guy in a tree. Girl. This is a kind of an OC. I don't know. He is just like Jethro, where he only exists on this page. But I don't know. I think he's cute, so he exists here. Sorry. And this is about when I start drawing on, like, pages on a horizontal view. Here, I'm gonna try to adjust this so it's a little bit tighter and it's not, like, on an angle so much. Sorry. Yeah, so it's not adjusting and you're stuck on an angle. I lied. Sorry. But this is me overcoming art block again. I'm just messing around with poses. This one took me way too long, but I guess it was worth it because I figured out how to draw that pose. But yeah, so I have a boy here, boys. I mostly draw boys, if you couldn't already tell. I'm trying to draw girls more. I'm getting a little better with that. But don't ask me why. It's not for any weird reason. I mostly just draw guys, to be honest. But yeah, so that's that page. And I guess I should go over this a little bit more. But I'm going, like, trying to figure out expressions and stuff like that. A lot of the, like, this one specifically is based off of, like, Pinterest prompts. I use Pinterest a lot. This guy's also Pinterest. Pinterest has become, like, my best friend this year, aside from Jesus. But yeah, so I've been needing it a lot. Right here, I have, more anatomy practice. I was so happy with this drawing. This was also off of reference, but just the fact that I was able to get, like, such a dynamic pose and it looks good. I was really, 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 really happy this day when I was drawing all this because I felt like I was actually getting a handle on anatomy and stuff like that. So there's just a few action poses on here. This one I drew without reference, and that's why it's uglier than the rest. But there's that. And then on this side, I have my OC Mavi in his, like, I don't know. what to call it, I guess superhero outfit. He's not a superhero, but it's like kind of his outfit for action stuff. I don't really know what to call it. This is a drawing I started of Atticus that I despise, and this is just me showing my friend how I draw anatomy from here on out. But yeah, on this page, I have just messing around with art, mostly because I was like having art block and not really knowing what to draw again. That is like almost my constant state where I just have no idea what to draw. To give evidence of that, today was going to be a draw with me video, but I had absolutely no inspiration, so I decided to make it a sketchbook tour instead. So yeah, we'll see how this goes with like drawing with people, doing draw with me's and stuff like that. I really hope it turns out well and I'm able to figure out how to get inspiration throughout this year, but yeah, so I'm just bad at coming up with ideas. But that's this page, ta-da! And this is also art block, but this is like prettier art block where I drew things that aren't as ugly. I have Jonathan Byers that is just terrible drawing. Steve Harrington. By the way, I never finished Stranger Things. I think we stopped after season 3. Yeah, it just got too dark, too dirty for my family, I guess. I don't really know. Yeah. Anyways, I don't really have a desire to continue watching it. No hate to people who are like Stranger Things fans at all. Just I don't watch it. I just have fan art. But this page I am especially proud of. It's just a guy floating in water. He just has a scuba helmet on. Yeah, I don't know. I thought this one was really pretty though. So I was really happy with this one how this one turned out. I never ever use paints or acrylics or anything like that. If you haven't already noticed, there's like almost no drawings in here that are colored in. That's one thing that I want to work on with my next sketchbook. Yeah, but I really do like how this turned out. There will be a couple more colored drawings as we go on, by the way. But we have that going on. And then we just have a jellyfish in the corner. I don't really know what inspired me to do a sea theme. Words are difficult right now, but yeah, so that's him. One of my honestly, my favorite drawing in this whole sketchbook. And then this is Spider-Man. I was really happy with this one because I drew it in like under 5 minutes, which is pretty rare for me when it comes to drawing like decent anatomy. So like around this point, I was really starting to progress a lot as an artist. So, yeah, here are some of the first girl drawings you'll get in this sketchbook. I remember thinking about this one specifically when I was saying that I don't draw girls much. But, like, I'm working on it. I am working on it. I do like how these ones turned out. They're a little bit stiff, but cute, you know? And then this is Acrimony. This is one of my friend's characters. He is wonderful. I don't know. I have a soft spot for him. But yeah, so this is a bunch of art block. Yeah. Sorry about all of like the commentary. I know it's like really cringy. But yeah, this is me messing around with art styles and then just messing around with how to draw like different face shapes and drawing beards and stuff like that. I don't know. I was just having a good time. Not really, but I was having a good time, I suppose. And then this is just more art block, just trying to draw, forcing myself to draw, kind of a pain in the butt. This was going to be like a couple comic panels with my friend's OC from earlier, Alloy. I actually have drawn him quite a lot, but yeah, so that's this page. I'm sorry if you can't see the whole thing, by the way. I'm not really watching the camera when I'm doing this. So, yeah, I'm sorry about that if anything gets cut out. But this is my friend's OC again, a different one. His name's Sethos, and he's kind of like an Egyptian guy. Now that I'm looking at this drawing, I really don't like how it turned out, mostly just because, like, his head is, like, so small compared to the rest of his body. But one thing I do like doing that I've found with drawing people is drawing, like, much smaller torsos and much longer legs. I don't know why, but it's just so fun. And then big feet. I love big feet, and I love big ears, and I love big hands. So I don't know. I want to try to incorporate those as much as I can. I've been finding these days, though, that I can't really work the big ears into my art style without it looking like making all my characters look like kids. I don't really know how else to describe it, but I don't like it very much, realistically. Idealistically, though, I like the big ears. We'll see how it goes. This was drawn at 2 a.m., so it's pretty bad. But I was camping, and I was in my tent. That was probably, like, one of the most magical moments of my summer. I mean, one of them, not, like, the most. But it was, like, 2 a.m., it was cold. I was dressed up in a beanie, and it was just, like, snuggled up in my tent alone, listening to lo-fi and painting. And, oh, my lordy, it was so pleasant. So I highly recommend it. Just if you're up at 2 a.m., just go outside and draw. It will put you in a better mood. And if it doesn't, God bless you. I will pray for you. But yeah, so this is a drawing of a UFO. I really, really, really like UFOs for like no reason. This year I've been really, really liking like the cryptid core feel. Like very much Gravity Falls, but not like demonic. I love the aesthetic of Gravity Falls so violently, but it's got like I don't like the demon stuff, you know? So I'm just kind of compensating with doing stuff like this. Yeah. I want to find something else where I'll be able to get like the cryptid aesthetic without all of like the creepy, dark, gross demon stuff. But anyways, this is another page. This is another one of my friends' OCs. I draw them rather frequently, actually. But this is Tobias. His like nickname is DK, and he's kind of like a scientist guy, and he's actually a doctor, but he loves like the forest and stuff like that, and he loves studying like biology out in nature, and he would spend like his entire life out in the middle of a swamp studying things if he could. And I just love him because he's just such a soft boy, and he's so sweet, and he's one of my favorites. So that's him. And then this is me screwing around with art styles even more. I was trying to decide whether I wanted to go for a more cartoony feel. This was based off of like a reference drawing that I really, really liked. I love the like method of drawing noses and like just how they worked in the eyelashes and stuff like that. I really love lower lashes, but I can't do them without making my guys look feminine. And I mean, I guess it's not the biggest deal, but I guess I want my guys to look masculine, I suppose. But this is probably the best example of the art style that I would probably want to do if I did go for the more cartoony vibe. But this is my Squishmallow, who you may have seen on the cover of my channel. His name's Benvolio, but I call him Ben for short. I spent way too much money on him. He was $70, but in my defense, as far as I know, he's a collectible, and I really, really, really do like him. So it was worth $70, I think, but I still can't think about that guy without thinking about how much money I spent on him and how much my friends have been bullying me for that ever since. But anyways, this is another sketchbook page, and I just have a bunch of random stuff. Yeah, none of this was, I never really felt inspired to draw any of this. This was from a reference photo, by the way. It's on Pinterest. I'm so sorry that I can't name any of the artists for the reference photos, but I found it on Pinterest, and I really, really, really liked it. This was not an original idea or anything like that. But, yeah, so none of this was really inspired. I just needed to draw because it had been so long since I had drawn, and it's not healthy to go that long without drawing if you're going to be an artist. And, I mean, it works to go long periods of time without doing much art. I mean, I spent, like, the entirety of 2022 without drawing hardly at all. Like, it was really bad. And this sketchbook is just me coming out of, like, a massive, like, almost chronic art block. But, yeah, so you can go long periods of time, but I just like to keep myself fresh. Anyways, so I just have, like, this is another continuation of that same, like, art block where I just don't know what to draw, but I feel like I have to. And, yeah. So I got really, really, really obsessed with Spider-Man after seeing Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. My favorite is probably Hobie Brown, just because I heard what his backstory was, and it just sounded like so clever. I don't know. I really, really like his world. So if you get a chance, maybe look it up there. I watched a YouTube video about it, so that's how I know. So you could probably find something about it on here. But yeah, so this is just my crap drawing, I suppose. And yeah. Here, let's see if I can pronounce his name. I'm going to test myself here. Pavitcher Babakar. Pavitcher Babakar. Pavitcher Babakar. Just, if I pronounced it wrongly, just I don't know. I'm sorry. I figured I'd do my best here, but that's him, and I love him. I love the Indian Spider-Man. I think he's just such a cutie. But yeah, so this is another scary drawing of me trying to figure out my art style, and yeah, these are just a couple kids I know. They're sweethearts. And right up here, I have me practicing feminine anatomy. So at this point, I had basically had a decent grasp on male anatomy. I had been drawing a lot of, like, Spider-Mans, a lot of poses, you know, just all the stuff that you've seen in the past. So I figured I'd, like, mess around with girl anatomy. And I guess it went all right. I guess the main thing I found to make a body look more feminine is just to make the hips, like, the same size as the top of the body. I don't really know how else to describe it, but, like, you'll see that the part right before where, like, the shoulders attach is, like, kind of the rib cage area, and making the hips just as wide as the rib cage area is going to be, like, your way to draw a more feminine body. If I were to do, like, a guy, I probably would have made the hips a lot smaller. So that's just my advice in what I found, but this is a girl drawing, finally. And yeah, this is just a sketchbook page. I really liked how it turned out. But yeah, so that's one. And later on, right after this, you're going to get to a drawing where I actually colored things. But first, here's a drawing of Hobie Brown that I really, really, really liked. So I just drew graffiti with him because I figured it fit. But I just had a lot of fun drawing him. I really like drawing things with a lot of, like, tiny details worked into it. So he was just, like, really, really, really fun. And I love his character so much. But here's me experimenting with the graffiti look again with drawing my name. This is a terrible drawing of the spot, and then just a couple random drawings I was doing to just try to get myself to draw more. But this, on the other side, is one of my very first color drawings on here. As you can see, it's inspired by Pipa's art, just her art style. I really, really, really love her art style, so I was just figured I had to start with pencils eventually. Not pencils, markers. So I had to start with markers eventually because I really, really wanted to, and it was just such a good way to color things in. I wanted to practice, and I had the markers, so I just went ahead and did these two. This one I actually like a whole lot better because she looks really, really weird now that I'm looking at it. Just, like, her neck is too small, and like, just the way I drew this area makes it look, like, really, really small. It makes her neck look super long, and the way her shoulder attached. I could go on and on about, like, the reasons she looks weird, but let me just say, I'm not entirely happy with this drawing, but she's cute, I guess. So, yeah. And then this is, like, I decided to do, like, the spider Sona thing. I just thought it sounded fun. So this is, like, a completely unrealistic spider version of me. But I worked in, like, the glasses, and I just really like fluffy, fluffy skirts, and I don't really know. I just drew what I would like on a spider character. More than anything. This got ruined because this was on the other side, but I didn't really care because this is just kind of a trash sketchbook page anyway. This is my day, July 12th. Yeah, July 12th. Sorry about the focusing issue again, but it was just raining outside. It was that was kind of a sad day, to be honest. I don't really know what my problem was, but I was just, like, kind of sad that day. I don't know, but it's alright. It's alright now. But I drew myself here. I'm pretty happy with this one. I want to stick to this as my girl art style, but yeah. So then this was drawn a little while later, and I just stuck it in. It was drawn on a sticky note, if you couldn't already tell. But yeah, that was while I was at my pastor's house, just hanging around. And right here, I have this was drawn at a park. This page was so reminds me of just such a precious moment. So we were at, like, a park, and it was right next to a stream. So I was able to just sit next to the slow-moving stream with all the cattails and stuff like that, and just sit and draw, listen to lo-fi, and it was just so, so nice. So this is what I was wearing. Yeah, it's not quite exactly my body type, but I guess you could say it was me. But yeah, so it was just a really, really nice moment. This is a cat in a bath that I saw on Pinterest, and I just thought it was so funny looking, so I drew it. And this is my friend's barn. This is just a drawing I drew. Believe it or not, I drew a drawing. But yeah, I don't really know what this one is. It just says, I makes the art. Yeah, so self-portraits, I was getting better at it around that point. But yeah, so this is another sketchbook page. Yes, it is. Believe it or not, it's another sketchbook page. Yeah, that's how you start to notice that I'm running out of things to say. Oh, lordy. But here, I just have, like, a bunch of ugly drawings. Every drawing I hated, I literally went over with, like, a black marker and scribbled it out and drew with white marker over it. So that's why it looks so splotchy and so ugly. But, yeah, so I don't really have an explanation for this page. I was at a friend's house. We were just hanging around. I was practicing my drawing and stuff. So it was a nice moment. I was still, like, playing with the idea of doing, like, a more cartoony style, I guess, at this point. You know, which is why I have this, which is based off a different drawing. And I don't really know. I was trying to decide at this point, like, where I was going with art. So, yeah, right here, I have me messing around with lips at the top. And just a bunch of, like, drawings throughout the day. This was a girl who came, like, I'm a barista. And there was a girl who looked like this who came to work, and I just thought, oh my gosh, you're adorable, and I'm going to draw you. So I drew this while I was on break. And then there's, I don't know, a guy on a skateboard. But yeah, so I've got a lot of experimenting going on in this page, but if you haven't already noticed, I have a drawing of myself here. So this is more like my body type, and I don't know, I figured I wanted to draw myself correctly, so I drew myself in an outfit that I wear a lot, which is just a black t-shirt and sort of baggy pants and my, like, hair up like this, which is what I have also on my YouTube cover. I always draw myself with hair like that because it's turned into, like, almost my, like, you know how cartoon characters wear the same outfit again and again and again and again? That's sort of like this hairstyle for me this summer. And that's just because at work, I have to wear a bandana, and I don't really know how to style my hair around a bandana, and I don't want to put the work into learning how to style hair. So I just do a messy bun on top of my head and just tie a bandana. So that's that. But, right here, I have just messing around with sketches, trying to figure out how to draw more, like, action in my poses, more movement. Yeah, I don't really know what else to say about this page. I guess they just did the sloth as a bonus. On the other side here, I have just a disaster, art block, all the rest of that stuff. I noticed this one piece of advice on Pinterest that said that treat the human body like a sack. So I drew a couple sacks here. And I didn't really use that information other than to draw sacks, but, you know, I have a couple bodies here just to experiment with perspective and stuff like that. I don't know, this page is just experimenting, to be honest. And then on the other side, I have a couple poses. I have a Spider-Man drawing. Yeah, more Spider-Man drawings. Something based off a Spider-Man drawing I saw on Pinterest. Yeah, I don't really have an explanation for this page either, which is just turning into being a lot of my sketchbook pages. But yeah, then on the other side here, I've got some drawings that I'm pretty happy with, and then some swatches on the back with markers. By the way, the Pipa's art inspired one from earlier that was drawn way later, like way after I had started that sketchbook page. But anyways, I needed to draw more girls, so I just drew a really big drawing right here. And I don't know, I wanted to add some color to my sketchbook. As you can see, I did later on, but yeah, so that's basically what this is. It doesn't have any deep meaning at all. I literally just, it felt right at the time, so I drew it. And yeah, there's a moon there. But yeah, this is the swatches themselves, and then I have just a guy here This is more around my art style as well, as opposed to like other things. Just like semi-cartoony, semi-realistic. I don't really know what to call it, but it's somewhere in between there. Yeah. And then I decided to do all the swashes in the back of the book because this was a terrible idea and I didn't want to wreck the drawings on this side. So that's that. And then I was going to draw like a hiker or like a camper or something like that, and it just turned out hideous. So I stopped midway through because I was experiencing art block, the kind of art block that's like anxiety. But yeah, you can see a drawing spoiled on the other side. Sorry. I didn't really think that one through. But this is a drawing of a guy. I was really happy with this one. I had learned how to draw like really, really boaty, emancipated hands. So like I was really loving this kind of drawing, like drawing style for people. So I wondered how it would work out in real life. And this is kind of how it did. Yeah, so I've just found like drawing all the different details and stuff like that. I don't really know if it's anatomically correct, but like just drawing a lot of like lumpy instead of just going like straight down, straight, and just making it a little bit more like human and like making all the different volumes and stuff visible, like I said earlier. But this is the drawing on the other page. Here, let me adjust this a little bit. This is just a pumpkin man. I was really excited for fall, and I still really am. So I just drew him kind of on a whim. But yeah, so this is another like example of me experimenting with markers. I was really starting to get a little bit more comfortable with them at this point because this was after I had already drawn like my profile picture for YouTube, which is on the other side if you didn't already notice. But yeah, so I'm just getting more comfortable with markers here. And yeah, just trying to have a little bit more fun with art. And at this point, I'm really starting to feel more like I can draw what I want. Like, instead of feeling like I'm bound only to what I've learned how to draw, I'm starting to have a little bit more freedom with it, if that makes any sense. So yeah, that's that. Here's my drawing of my sketchbook, not sketchbook, my YouTube cover. And if you scoot on down here a little bit, this is just me messing around with my art style, trying to figure out like what styles I like. This one I'm not entirely on board with. I think it's just the size of the eyes, but just trying to see what I like and what I don't again. So it says not vibing, but frankly, I really like the way the girl turned out. It's just the guy that was leaving me unsettled because he kind of looks like an angry 10-year-old a little bit with over-defined hair. I don't really know what else to call it right now. Also, sorry about how much I'm like scooting over and getting in your way and fixing the camera thing. But yeah, this is me experimenting with art style even more. I've been doing that very intensely this past week or so, just because I really want to figure out how to draw what I'm doing before I started an art channel, because I guess I felt like there was an expectation that I should know how I draw and stuff like that before I start. But I've gotten over that a little bit this past week as well. Yeah, frankly, a lot of this has just been in the past week where I've been like developing and trying to figure out YouTube and stuff like that. I'm like planned, I suppose, but I haven't given it a whole lot of time yet. So, yeah, I don't really know where I was going with that. But yes, this is another drawing. This is somewhat of an OC, but she's one of those OCs that's going to live just on this page. It's only these two. This one's a random person, but this is Ruby May. I'm starting to get more comfortable with drawing girls, as you can see, but I just drew like what would be in her bag. I want her to be kind of like an adventurous girl. There was this aesthetic that I saw on Pinterest, and you know how they do like just a little bit of a collage with, I guess, like all these different objects, I guess. I don't really know. And then I don't know, just to kind of summarize an aesthetic, it just said granola girl aesthetic, and I really liked it, so I used it for a character concept. And that's about all that is to be said about this page, other than the fact that I just really like how this turned out. And yeah, so yeah, I like her. She's a solid character. And on this side, more art block. Guy getting mad at a happy dog for no conceivable reason. Yeah. Yup. Anyways, I'm messing around here with like different expressions and stuff, and I'm very glad I did because this page turned out really good, and I'm so happy with this one because I actually did it all freehand, which I wasn't expecting to be able to do at all. So right here I have got angry. This isn't really an expression because he looks pretty dead inside, but just like figuring out how to draw mouth, like heads smushed and heads wider for opening mouth, and yeah, I'd say it was really, really successful. Except for this one. This is like disgusting. But these two are pretty goods. And then I was messing around with buildings this past week as well. I have this building right here that's kind of falling apart. And then I have a couple on the other side here. I have a skeleton. This one I drew freehand. I really, really, really like how it turned out. I'm happy that I am able to draw a skeleton without any reference photos. But, yeah, so right here I have a building. I don't really know what building it was. It was just a picture on Pinterest again. And then there was just this kind of dilapidated building that I saw on Pinterest as well. You can't really see the details because I erased a lot of it, but oof, I'm just realizing now how fast I'm talking. I'll try to slow down. But this is a dilapidated building. I don't know. It just felt about right to draw. It was also somewhat based off of the prompt of one of my friends' OC's, his house, which was kind of in the middle of a swamp. It's not Tobias or Decay from earlier. It was actually her version of an OC that I made. So we kind of have joint custody over him, which is weird, but yeah. And then this is the final page to what I have right now. I know it's like really stupid to do a sketchbook tour when I don't have a completely finished sketchbook. But right here I have just a drawing of Alloy again because I have an unreasonable obsession with him. And then just messing around with art a little bit more. I really, really liked this art style, just the kind of halfway, partly realistic but mostly animated look. And, yeah, I was trying to translate that into a girl, but this one's pretty ugly, I'm not gonna lie. So, I just kind of left that, but, yeah, so, I'm still working on my art style, I'm still working on painting, I'm still working on watercolor and markers and all that kind of stuff. It's just, I have a lot of gaps in my ability to draw right now. I'm really not that developed as an artist, to be honest. But, I mean, hey, that just means that I'm roping all of you guys into my creative journey, which I hope you guys really, really enjoy. So yeah, that's about it for my sketchbook. I also have like a couple miscellaneous drawings just laying around, but I don't feel like scrounging them up to show you. Sorry about that. I guess another example of my drawing, though, is a tattoo I made. Is mostly faded now, but like, it's butterflies. Yeah. I don't really know what else to say from here on out, other than the fact that I am very, 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 very thankful to whoever stuck around to the end of this video. I pray blessings over you, and I hope you have just a wonderful rest of your day. And I hope you come back for more later. So, no pressure. If you don't feel like it, you don't have to, but I would appreciate just... I don't know. If you have any thoughts, just let me know in the comments. So, I'll see you around. Most awkward closing to a video ever, but God bless.